Right, so we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Veganism and Global Transformation Room here at the Up Convergence 2020, where we're celebrating 11 days. Where we are celebrating 11 days of global unity. And I am Pareen Sachdeva. I'm the India lead with Climate Healers. And today I am in conversation with a really inspiring young activist, Raheen Fatima. She is a social justice activist from Pakistan. She has founded a social startup dedicated towards implementing the United Nations SDGs. So, without much ado, we're going to get into the conversation and get to know all about what she has been up to in her very young age. Okay, Raheen, welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Wonderful. How are you doing today?
So I am doing amazing, and well, it's been a very beautiful day for me.
Wonderful. So you have a social startup which has got to do with the sustainable development goals.
Yeah.
Firstly, tell me, what do you know about the sustainable development goals?
So I think the sustainable development goals are what would help us achieve a clean environment for the generations to come, because what I grew up seeing is something very different than what my dad grew up seeing. And then again, that would go on from generations to generations. Because as human beings would grow in number, we are polluting the earth at times knowingly and at times unknowingly doing that. And I think we need to be more aware. Well, the Sustainable Development Goals came after the Millennium Development Goals, the MDGs, now the SDGs. And I randomly was Googling stuff about climate change, and I came about it and I started learning them. And I saw the beauty of it all together, because, when there's one supporting the other and the other supporting, the one before. And it's just all so beautiful. And it's all, kind of there with the SDG 17, and that's like partnerships and collaborations. And when there's collaborations, without collaborations, nothing. All those SDGs, all the 16 previous SDGs would not come. Now, a lot of people that I see are now knowing about the SDGs, but I think first the awareness of the SDGs, and then we can work on the SDGs. And a lot of times, like where I live in Pakistan, there's many people that go, what are those? I have to explain to many people that what are they, and then they're like, we never knew about it. And they've been along, they've been here for like 5 years now. Yeah, about 5 years. Yeah. So I think this is the first step to know about these. And well, I randomly got to know about it, and now I'm also the youth ambassador for the SDG Academy Pakistan.
That's wonderful. So, where exactly in Pakistan are you from?
So exactly from Pakistan, I belong from Gujarat. So that's where the roots come from. But because my dad and everybody grew up in Islamabad, so but because of my dad's job, we keep on moving around. So I think I consider myself all of Pakistan, because I've lived in Peshawar, born there, and lived in Karachi and all over Pakistan. So I'm all Pakistani. I have all traits from all places. Well, now I am in Rawalpindi.
Okay, wonderful. And what do you think about transforming Pakistan?
I feel like that's something that's really needed, because I visited a lot of Pakistan, and I've seen a lot of things that were a bit weird for me, being, living in the urban community, being from a very financially stable family. I did not get to see many things as a child. But when I grew up and I saw so many things happening and incidents and so many things coming up on the media and so many things on the news and so many things that I saw when I was traveling, I was like, we need good transformation. And I think it all started when I started stand-up comedy. And with that, because when my brother was diagnosed with cancer, I found out because he was like 2.5 years old when that happened. And I was like, you know what? I'm never too young or never too old to die. And I was like, you know what? Whatever I have to do, I have to do do now. And I think that's how it all began. And such a beautiful journey. And I've seen so many people, especially so many young people, who are representing Pakistan in a beautiful way on international level or even national level. You do not need to be very international or very business savvy in order to transform. At times some advice or some representation can really help. So I think that is my point of view about transforming Pakistan.
Wonderful. I really hope your brother is doing okay. How old were you when you got to know about the SDGs, and how did your parents react when you wanted to get into this?
So what I remember, I think I was 11 years old when that happened. It's been about 2 years, now I'm 13. And it was actually my dad who, because he knew about the SDGs and he wanted me to research about them, but he was like, you know what, just research on climate change. And as soon as I got deeper into it and more deeper into it, what happened was that I got to the SDGs, the final product, the SDGs. Now, there's a lot to learn about that. And honestly, I do not know as a lot of people around would know about them because they read a lot or maybe they know a lot about it. But as I think a 13-year-old, I'm proud to just know about what the SDGs are and to also be working on them with the SDG Academy Pakistan. And it's such a moment of pride for me, honestly.
So, are you working on any particular SDGs? And what is your role with the SDG Academy? What do you know about the SDGs?
So basically, the SDG that I am focusing on with my social startup, well, a lot of SDGs that we are contributing to at times even not knowingly, but there's one in fact that's SDG 13. That is about climate change, and this is something that's so cool because I have the social startup. Let me explain what that is, and it's a very cool idea. And there's also very interesting stories behind how that came into existence. Now, I've had this startup for about a year now, and we have been working a lot. And the thing is that basically our polythene bags, they are banned in Pakistan now. Now, where I live, they're not banned. You can easily get them, but in our house we are polythene free. We go as much polythene free as we can because I'm always like, I am the one who's trying to work for it. I have it in my own house, beautiful. Where I lived, there were no polythene bags allowed from the start. We had to carry paper bags because there were no real substitution for the good old polythene bag. And when I broke a few eggs a few times, a few other things that were breakable, fragile things, I was like, this is not happening again. And I think this is where the idea was born. Basically, a cloth bag that is made from upcycled cloth and is made by women who are in financial crisis, who are not from very wealthy families, and they do need money to run their families. Those women that need help and do not even know stitching quite well, they are just good enough to sew a bag. And that is what we do basically. And we do have a twist to it, but of course, because it's not officially launched, it would have been if the COVID-19 was not around. But well, whatever comes for good. And give me more time to prepare and give me more time to really research on stuff. And this is the thing basically. And I am also the brand ambassador with the Women Entrepreneurship Program of Hashi Foundation. And it's also during when I was pitching this idea at Startup Weekend, and they saw the picture and they were like, the girl's 12 and she's almost doing what we are trying to do. And that's how we kind of like linked up. They were already doing it, I was already doing it. And yeah, that's how a beautiful collaboration also came in being. Now, I do have some people and that I'm working on, which some things of course I'd like to keep private about it, but this is something, well, of course it's also they're impacting other SDGs, like, life below water, and the trees, and all these, basically the environment is being impacted with polythene bags, because you see them everywhere. Now I was I think, yeah, I was walking around near my grandma's house, and I saw this, like I don't know, I call it a Mount Everest because I was feeling funny, but there was like this huge pile that was just with polythene bags and wrappers and literal garbage, and that could have been recycled if we wanted to, but well, people decided to mix it all up and put it on the street, like literal on the main street. So I think that is also, those things that I see, and other things that people tell me, the incidents of turtles being trapped in polythene bags. It's really hurting. Now you see a lot of things go viral in seconds, and most of them are now climate change.
Wonderful. So, what do you understand about climate change?
I think climate change is also because, Earth, of course, we all came into being. There were lesser people. It started out as like really less people, and then we all came to be about billions of people, which is really a lot of people that a planet can hold. Now we all are making buildings here. We all are just treating that as our house. It's our place. Now we need to understand a few things when we are doing some actions, as in we need to understand the fact that everything needs rest, and including Earth. I mean, we have been kind of like working it out, and everything needs rest. Now what we're doing is that we're cutting trees and all that to urbanize the areas, because in when the cities urbanize, there's more population, and there's more value to that city, whether that be historical value really isn't so in these days. It's more of how many malls they have, or do they have do they have like big places to live in, do they have 5-star hotels, and do they have a good road network, good infrastructure. That is what all matters these days, but we need to understand how greenery is important for us. Now when I go out of, because I live in a gated community, and when I go out of there, I see almost no trees, but as soon as I come in, I am filled with trees around my house. I think we should always understand that we should not cut trees, because they are important for us. And because when my dad was younger, they did not really learn about climate change and stuff, because everything was quite going like very swiftly. Now it's been, the 2000s have been around, and now they're like, climate change is the next thing, and we have activists, and we have amazing people around, people who are locally actually doing tree plantation drives. I've done one myself, and I literally realized how hard it is. And I think also that at
Okay. Oh,
times we are unknowingly doing things, like
mhm.
a lot of people recently was pretty famous, and I was researching about it, about fast fashion, the how fast fashion is really impacting the climate, because there's a lot of water that goes into that cotton, that is made into a shirt, that is then retailed for about way less money, like maybe at times, let's just say for like a pair of jeans, that's about $9 if you see at, I don't know, H&M's. Yeah. So it's like really less for the amount of effort, for the amount of water, for the amount of also the land that went into it, the effort and all those things. I think we should also understand what we're buying, and how much water and how much work and the sunlight goes into that.
So,
But
does it make you appreciate the resources that you've had when you see it in contrast with the situation of children in the country and what
I
climate
do.
change is doing to them?
I do actually, and I feel that it's something that's so it shouldn't happen, but it is happening. And I think it's our job as responsible citizens, not just of Pakistan or not just of India or Sri Lanka, whatever, as responsible citizens of the world, because it's my job to kind of like look out for where I'm living. If I do not clean my room, I get kicked out of it. That's how the situation is around my house. So I think the same goes for where I live. I need to take care of that place. I need to plant trees so that I get my own oxygen. I do not hijack somebody else's, right? So I have about like 2 3 trees around my house, and all of them are fruit trees as well, so also give fruits, a lot of them.
So,
So
so
it's really good.
so what is your theory of action beyond taking care of what you are consuming?
Sorry, can you repeat?
So, what is
Can
your
you like
theory?
elaborate the question? I do not understand, I'm sorry.
So, from what I understand about what you're saying is, you're very concerned about everything that you're consuming and everything that you're putting out. Yeah.
Yes.
So, what do you think about the impact that it has on others? Because you understand that we're all interdependent, right? And we're
Yeah.
all sharing the resources on the planet. So,
Yes.
what do you think about that?
I think all of it, and again, we were talking about veganism earlier, and that's when I told you that I'm not vegan, and well, I've never really, really put in thought about being vegan because I know nobody in my family or in my very close circle of friends who's vegan. But now I do know a lot of people that are vegan through social media, and a lot of them actually sometimes encouraging me to be vegan, and now I am putting thought to the fact. And I feel like it is important for us, that because it's just like sharing a room. And when I share a room, you need to share, so at times you have to share a bed, you have to share a closet, you have to share a bathroom. There's a lot of things that you have to share. But again, during that process, you have to take care of the fact what you're putting out. If you're throwing all these things around the room, well, of course the other person's going to kick you out, right? Or if it's not just what we're physically polluting. I think climate change is really because of the physical pollution, but I think it's also important that we see how much pollution is in ourselves at times. What we speak, or what we actions sometimes actually speak louder than words. Whatever we intake, whether that be words, the kind of gossip, the kind of thoughts, all these things, they do make an impact within our bodies, within our mind and our thought process. It kind of actually changes with all those sometimes negative thoughts rushing, and there are ways to control that. I mean, I'm not saying you're a negative person if that happens to you. That has happened to me as well. We're all human beings. And for others that are suffering from climate change, I'll give you an example. So climate change has really been affecting Pakistan as well, as amongst like other countries that are really being affected. And it's also that Karachi in particular is really being affected, because that Karachi, the place when Pakistan was made, and when that the sewage system and as well, everything was designed for Karachi. It was designed not to hold as much rain as they have now. It was, they rain, it's fine, it's like normal rain, it's not so heavy. But now it's so heavy that in good elite places, where, the elitists of the cities they live, there they have like an entire lake you can actually swim in. I've seen people and I know people who were swimming in that place because, come on, there's so much water, and that place cannot hold as much water. It's designed for holding less water. Now, what is the thing all behind this? It is that there's so much pollution, and there's so many factors that were contributing in that specific region of Pakistan, or as Pakistan as a whole, was contributing to the climate change, that this came into being. And there's so many cities that are hotter than before or colder than before, and there's so many places. There's so many examples that we can run out of time, and it's important for us to understand what we're doing. And I actually, it's a very cool story. I was hanging out with a friend, and she was literally all over polluting the place. She was throwing garbage all over the place and stuff. There were so many things that were happening. Now, I am like, dude, you do know that I am the SDG ambassador, and right now I am gonna tell you not to do this. So you better stop doing that before I get into, my angry mode. And she's like, doesn't make a difference. I mean, because there's so many people who are polluting every day that if one human being would think that, okay, if I do, literally nothing happens. And again, it is like, one plus one, and then with a lot of ones, it would make us all on the planet, or all on the country, or all on the city, or whatever region we're in. So I think we need to also understand the individuality of ourselves, and also like what we're doing really matters.
So would you say that you're trying to exercise your authority didn't make a difference to your friends?
Not really, because of course she stopped. I mean, I gave her my eyes. I'm like, you'll have to stop, because again, at times we do not know what we're doing, and she knew what she was doing. That's exactly why I tried to use that. Like, you do know I stand for climate change, and you do know that I stand for not pollution.
Mm.
And well, sometimes you have to do that.
Yeah. Do you know which industry is responsible for the maximum amount of climate change that we're experiencing? More than all of the transport combined?
uh, the fashion industry, the clothing industry, I think that.
The agriculture industry.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the
So
agriculture industry.
the animal agriculture, not even agriculture, only animal agriculture. So the industry in which we breed and rear animals to eat them, to use them for entertainment, to use them for our fashion, to use them for testing products, all of that
Oh yeah.
constitutes the animal agriculture industry. So that is why I feel like this beautifully leads us into our conversation, back into our conversation about veganism and how you told me that you wanted to know more about it. So I'm going to take this opportunity to share a bit about it with you. So I'm sure you know that there are a lot of environmental challenges that we're facing today, and climate change is one of them. And of course, there's global warming, there is deforestation, there is waste management, there is ocean acidification, there is the loss of habitats, there is the extinction of species, then, of course, the fisheries depleting. You know that by 2050, it is predicted that we will have fishless oceans. Have you heard that?
It makes me sad that I eat fish.
You know, I was in
Yeah.
a place once, and so I feel so glad that we have this opportunity to connect about this, and especially in this forum that we're in. So
Yeah.
it's absolutely amazing, and I love that you're listening to me with an open mind about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can relate with you. I was a meat eater just like you. I used to have meat every day. I used to love eggs. And but then, just like you, because I see that you are so keen to know more, you wanted to research about the SDGs. And just like you, I started doing some research too. And I started reading up about everything that we're doing today. So in the past 100 years, we have achieved so many technological advances, so many advances in terms of everything that we're achieving, in terms of communications, in terms of transport. But all of a sudden, we are faced with a situation where if we do not contain global warming, we are on the brink of a climate catastrophe, right?
So,
And just this morning, I had a call from another young activist who asked me, I'm doing this, and this, but is it worth it? Are we going to survive to see the results of that? Have you ever thought about it?
Well, now that you're talking about this, I'm actually wondering in my mind, being vegan, what do you not have to eat? Literally,
Dead animals that you have to stop eating, and their
that
bodily
means
functions.
that means no meat, no
Mm-hmm.
eggs,
Mm-hmm.
no milk.
No milk.
I
That
love
comes from the
smoothies.
best of an.
I love smoothies. I love a good one.
You can make smoothies with coconut milk, soy milk, almond milk, cashew milk, oat milk, hemp milk. Shall I go on?
It's all milk at the end of the day.
No, but it
And
comes from nuts. Hey, don't get
true.
over. This is
Yeah.
because I see that you're so keen to learn, and this is the perfect place to talk about it. We're here at Climate Healers. Our goal is to heal the climate. And this is such a beautiful way to heal the climate with peace. And it starts right on our plate. And there is so much that we can eat. We can eat all the colors of the rainbow. Think about it.
True.
Have you ever seen an ad for eggs on TV?
Never.
Sunday hoya Monday rose khao ande. Have you never seen that?
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, maybe I'm too old.
No.
Maybe I don't read those ads anymore. But have you ever seen an ad for ladyfingers or capsicum? No.
I
Or
don't think so.
right? So, what is the biggest hurdle that you think that you might face in going vegan, knowing that you would be going vegan to be kinder to animals and to save the planet? What do you
I
think?
think I think meat would be hard to cut, but it's not that big. I think eggs is where we come.
I used to love eggs too.
I love a good omelette.
Mm-hmm.
You
So,
know.
yeah. So then there are two things to remember here once you make the decision. First is to always remember your why. Okay? And as an SDG ambassador, I think that your why is always at the top of your head, isn't it? Especially with the incident that you told me with your friends. Even your friends know that your why is always at the top of your head, right? So when you remember your why, when you remember why you're doing something, it's not going to be hard to do it. Do you think?
True, and exactly. And I was thinking, you know what? I am in love with sweet things. I love a good dessert or a good cake or some good brownies with ice cream.
Hmm? Did you know that
But
you can all of those vegan? You don't have to give it up.
yeah, but what about brownies? I mean, they have eggs in it, and I love beating them. Yeah, they're my favorite thing to do.
You need flax eggs instead. Anyway, we'll not get into the intricacies of these things in this interview. What I will recommend is for you to join into our next interview, which is a live cooking demonstration where we talk about
Ooh.
how we can veganize things. Okay, so I think that will be something really exciting for you.
Yeah.
Because, see, now that you made the connection, now that you understand that not using animals is going to help the planet, I think you're clear on your why. Now it's
Yeah.
only the how that you need to answer, right? And
Yeah.
we have a solution for that for you as well. So, how amazing is that?
Yeah, I think it's all meant to be. We have
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
right. You get to add another amazing thing into your kitty of the already amazing things that you're doing,
Yeah.
right? Do you want to tell me about the other amazing things that you're doing?
So I think something that I'm really proud of is that I am actually working with I'm an actress. I'm a theater actress, and I do only theater for now. And in theater, I've been working on social issues, is like especially child abuse. I've been working very much on child abuse because I think it is important to be addressed. But if I just go out there and I start speaking about child abuse, people would take their children away and saying this is something inappropriate that we're talking about. But if I talk that, the same things through a fun play or a puppet show, it'll be more fun for both of them. We're also conveying the message, we're also having fun, and we get to travel as well, for the play to travel, now, I have performed in Peshawar. I performed in Lahore. I have performed at the Children Literature Festival. We have performed especially about child abuse and how we cover many issues, including child abuse, early marriages, quality education, not getting enough education, and being married off as girls, and gender equality, all those issues. We talked about in one play. It was really interesting, and we prepared for it. We also had a few monkeys as roles, and we had humans dressed as monkeys. Come on, that's fun. And yeah, it was really fun to do that. And I could see, the smiles on the kids' face, how happy they were. And there were actually some children that did come up with the problem that they had faced before. The situations at times that they thought were fishy, but they had no idea what to do. Well, now they did, and I'm so proud that I was just, even I just made an appearance in the story in their head, or maybe just a story. It means so much to me. And we had a puppet play, which is especially like really focusing on how to protect yourself and how to tell it to your family if something does happen, if you are in a situation. And again, we had a monkey, and it was really cool. I was actually playing a boy, and it was a puppet show, and I still remember for the first time I had arm cramps, and it was not good. But at least a smile on the children's faces, and what they learned was something that was nothing. It was something that was nothing compared to the arm cramps, with cramps. I was like, what? I could have 1,000 of those just to see the smile on the faces and how they understood and how they, kind of, we had a few songs in between and, kind of like poetic verses kind of thing. And it was like really cool because they knew it and they were so keen about the characters and they were asking and that does the character go to school? And I'm like, yes, of course. And it's just so fun. And to theater, I think I was leaded by stand-up comedy because a lot of people that were with me, either film actors or were either theater actors. And that's how I was offered the role. Now I've done 2 plays and I've done them a lot of times. And I've done a puppet show, which is, I think, my favorite. It's so fun.
That's wonderful. So if there's a video of it up on the internet somewhere, do share it with us and we will share it with the rest of our audience. I'm sure they would love to watch it. I absolutely appreciate when you mentioned that you're raising your voice for fellow girls. And it makes me understand that you understand the concept of exploitation and of suppressed voices.
Yes.
And it brings me back to veganism again, because who has the most oppressed voice? Who has the most unheard voice?
Now you're reminding me of the chicken I had in the morning. Yeah.
So don't feel guilty. Don't. I was in your place for 24 years of my life. Do not feel guilty. Feel blessed that you have the awareness now. That's how I took it. And create the change, and you already have such a powerful voice. And I absolutely love that about you. And it will be so amazing that you help so many beings all over the planet with that powerful voice, and you roar. Right?
That is really cool. And okay, so I have another question though about veganism, because of course, I mean, you know about veganism, and I'm here to know more about veganism. So tell me, there's a lot of people that earn their wages selling meat. So what about those people? How would they earn?
So, do you understand that it will take you some time to go vegan? It will not be an overnight transition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the people who are earning their wages in the animal farming industry will go through a similar process. There is a wonderful BAFTA winning documentary called 73 Cows. In fact, we interviewed the filmmaker yesterday. His name is Alex Lockwood. He was with us yesterday talking to us about the film. So, in this short film, it's only a 13-minute film where he has shown how a beef farmer who had 73 cows on his farm transitioned towards organic farming and how he made it sustainable. So there are people who have shown that it is doable, and there are people who have shown that it is being done. So it is absolutely possible to help transition all of the workers and all of the companies that are working in the animal farming industry right onto the vegan track, right on the track where we can not only stop climate change, but also help reforest the planet and help regain all of the habitats that we have lost and help all of the species that are endangered or on the brink of extinction.
You are a very, I must say, you are one convincing woman. Yeah,
You
you're good
are
at
one
this.
strong and smart woman.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think I will learn more about it throughout these sessions and also about the cooking demonstration. Not forgetting about that.
Yes.
And yes, I think I am ready at mine, but of course, it's just, kind of like sometimes hard to do it. And also, it will take some time, of course. It does not happen like I am vegan the other day. That's not with me.
That's
Don't
absolutely okay. It's your thought and your intention that matters in an instant, right? It doesn't matter whether it takes you a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months. It doesn't matter how long it takes you, as long as you understand your why and always remember your why.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I see that our audience would like to join us. So if you guys have any questions, you can type them in the chat or you can unmute yourself and go ahead. Raheen, would you like to talk to our audience?
Yes, I would love to do so. If there's any questions, let me just see if there are. Okay. Thanks, Ray, who told me about the smoothies for the planet. Yeah. Cool. At least I
Actually,
get my smoothies.
there is a presentation being on Saturday of mango smoothies, how to make mango smoothies without dairy. And the topic while they're making the mango smoothies is why dairy is not a himsa. And this person also is a director of a documentary that's going to be coming out that's encouraging India to get off of dairy. And this could be one of the most important initiatives on our planet to fight for sustainability of the planet. And it affects so many different aspects of our food chain, not just dairy itself, but of course the all the other uses for cows. So that's going to be pretty exciting. We've got a lot of cooking demos on the program, and they're all recorded, so we can watch them again and again.
Amazing. Plus, I always wanted to. I like telling that to people, but because I have a lot of trees, I also have this huge, very old though mango tree in my house that gives mango. So yeah, I'll probably be able to.
I'm in Canada. I'm so jealous.
And I have made pickles all summer and delicious smoothies too.
Oh, I love those pickles. Here in India and Pakistan, we have this amazing pickles for mangoes. At least I do not have to go off that. I can afford that.
It's vegan. You know what? You know what? You're already eating that is vegan. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna share that with you, so it's helpful for you. So all of the dals, all of the
Yeah.
vegetables, all of the chapatis and the rice, all of the snacks, like if you eat samosas and kachoris, if you're not putting any meat or ghee in them, you're vegan. So chaat, your snacks, most of it is vegan. So you know what? Uh, if you just read something randomly off the internet about veganism and you thought that was what veganism is, look it up and look at trustworthy sources. Okay, so if you want real facts, you can obviously check out climatehealers.org. And do you
Yeah.
have Netflix, Raheen?
Oh, yes. I have Netflix. I cannot go without it.
Wonderful. So today I want you to watch an amazing documentary. It's called Cowspiracy. Okay.
Cowspiracy.
Uh-huh. It's right up your alley. It's about the environment. All
Ooh,
about
amazing.
okay. I want
Cowspiracy.
you to watch
I
it
think
today and email me what you thought about it.
I think it's
Amazing.
safe to say, were it not for that documentary, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't want to scare anybody by saying it's a powerful documentary, and it's not the stereotypical vegan documentary with lots of scary stuff in it. And no slaughterhouses.
Only facts. No, it's not even, I don't even think of it as a vegan documentary. I think of it as a documentary about planetary health and the environment and all the aspects about the environment that we need to consider even beyond climate change.
Yeah, the full title is Cowspiracy.
The sustainability secret.
It's a lot about the impacts of our food. So
Yes.
it kind of follows through the impacts of our food, and the conspiracy part is that the food industry doesn't want us to know the impact of our food. So there's a the
Okay.
the documentaries to get that forward to people.
What about cheese, though? No
Hmm.
cheeseburgers?
Uh, cheese.
I eat a
from-
lot of cheeseburgers. They're vegan cheeseburgers though, so you have to find the vegan equivalent of cheese, and it's come a long way. Like there's a lot of exploration of trying to make everything that we have in our lives exactly the same. Sometimes you have to make some compromises, but in general, when you've got a heart for the animals, these compromises don't really seem that dramatic. But
Yeah.
it's kind of a challenge to just try to replicate everything. My wife does that pretty much full time. Try to create an experience that's exactly like what we're familiar with.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not even a compromise. Never think of veganism as giving something up, because unfortunately we've been taking stuff that has not been ours to take in the first place. And veganism is all about justice and bringing it back into place. You know, so veganism is not about giving things up or compromising. It's about understanding our place on the planet, understanding our role as a species, and respecting the role of all the other species on the planet. So, Raheen, it has been absolutely wonderful talking to you. And I feel like we have a budding young climate healer in the making. I have left 2 links for you in the chat. One of them is a link to our playlist of all the cooking demos that are going on through the 11 days of unity. So copy that link. And the other one is a link to the website of the documentary Cowspiracy. And I am looking forward to being in touch with you and continuing our chat and continuing working towards the Sustainable Development Goals together and creating a beautiful planet for ourselves and for our future generations. Raheen, do you want to share any parting words?
I would say that it's the concept of veganism as well. I'm not vegan as of yet, but I think it's all starts in the mind. And I think I am actually considering being vegan because if it helps the environment and if it helps, me being cruelty free as well, let's do it. I mean, it's worth a shot. If it doesn't work out, it's fine, but I try. And
Yes.
I'm sure it'll work out anyway.
That's all.
So now I want to say to everybody, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for bearing me for all this time. But I will stick around though.
Wonderful, wonderful, Raheen. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us today.
You have such a powerful voice, and I'm just so it's such a privilege to watch you talk, and your rapport was just wonderful to witness. It seems like you've been interviewed a lot, and at such a young age. It's such
A lot.
you're so comfortable. And so open to discuss your experiences. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray. Plus, I would request everybody who is here to please maybe drop a link of their Facebook pages or a profile page or like anything, because I mean, I know I'm already on like 5,000 friends and I still have to clean up everything and stuff. But I would love to be friends with you on Facebook and probably interview you or have a chat, maybe on veganism.
Wonderful. Absolutely game for that. I'm going to end the live stream here and we can still continue the conversation later.